Good morning, everybody. I'm just sitting here adjusting my camera. Oh my goodness. So today is Friday. It's 10 o'clock and I am Connie. And I am showing a project today that's called a balcony card. And I've been messing around with these balcony cards now for a few months, and I keep making them different measurements and different styles. And I made a template for it, but the truth is it doesn't have to be exactly the way I have cut it. You can make it any way you want. And I liked the idea of this card, even though it sticks out on the side, which probably is, you're probably like, why'd you do that? And the reason I did is because the goal of this card is to make a card that looks really cool sitting on a shelf, and it has different levels of decoration. And I did that nativity one in October or November, and I've made 2 or 3 others at Christmas time. And I just thought I wanted to make a really cool birthday one. I thought this would be a good use of some of my scraps of paper from this Wildflower Birthday paper pack. And the Wildflower Birthday pack is really cool because you get a couple of sheets of all these different die cuts, and I keep them in these little envelopes. I keep my papers in a giant like a paper holder, and then I just slide this envelope down in there, and then everything is together. That's awesome. If you are wondering what the sticker sheet looks like, this is what the sticker sheet looks like. And it's really geared more to scrapbooking than card making. There are components of this you can of course use for card making, but today I think I'm gonna try to just use the die cuts. Let's see. Let me see if I can get my comments rolling here. And there we go. Okay. So I know now you're probably wondering what are you going to do with this card? First of all, it's a fat card. It's going to cost you more to mail anyway. You could just put it into a bubble mailer, but it would definitely fit a 5x7 envelope. I have a ton of those envelopes around that, over the years, I've just accumulated 5x7 envelopes, and since I so rarely make 5x7 cards, this is a perfect card to use those envelopes anyway. But I do think this is fat enough that I would have to add an extra stamp or something. So basically, let me just show you the template first. Those of you who are card makers who purchased from me this month, this is the kit that this will be one of the cards that you get. Basically, what you need is a 4x11 cardstock, and we're going to score that in the middle so it'll be a half fold. And then you need a couple of balcony pieces. So the main thing is I made mine. It can be any height as long as it fits in your card, right? I made mine 3 inches. I'm sorry, the dog is going bananas. The city is out in front of my house today, and okay, Moose, enough. Hey. Okay, sorry. Don't mean to scream at everybody while I'm on here. Anyway, so I made mine 3x7. And basically, all you do is you fold it in half, and then there needs to be about a 1/2 inch fold on each side. And these little flaps are what gets glued into your card. Let me score this really quick. I should have done that ahead of time. I'm going to do it off camera because my scoreboard, getting in and getting my scoreboard out is kind of a chore. Let's see. So I scored it in half, which is 5.5, and I'm just gonna kind of press that down. So what'll happen is you will take this balcony piece and it'll rest at the bottom of the card. That way when the card stands up, it'll help brace it to sit on the table level. You don't want it like hanging in the air, okay? You want it down here on the bottom. And then you want to line up that center score in the center like that. So no matter what size you make this piece, and you can make it smaller, you can make it shorter. I mean, whatever you do, you basically want to fold it in half and then have these flaps on the side. And we're going to glue the flaps down. And I wrote on there, adhere to base. So if you may, it helps me later if I pull this template out to have everything all written out. Oh my goodness. All right, so, and then it will pop up. Do you see that? So that's a balcony, and you can do multiple sizes. So you could do a smaller one. You could then do a shorter one on the outside of that. Like it could be like a level plus another level. I mean, you know, you could have it going in tiers if you wanted to. But for this one, I'm just going to do this. Now, the other thing that I think makes this outstanding and different than what other balcony cards is this piece right here. So you guys might remember I got that cool card kit, and I can't remember the name of the company that I got that from. I think I bought it from HSN, but it had these, had one piece that just rested inside of the other. And this, I called it a slip-in panel. And basically, this one I did make 3.5 by 7.25. And this one you do just fold in half, and then you take the piece and you fold it back and you fold it back. And then you cut a slit about 1/4 inch-ish from each end. And it doesn't have to be perfect, and then it'll just slide in like this, and it'll hang on your card. I hope that makes sense. So that is what we're building today. And then you get multiple layers, right? So that is the template that you will get, is just this part, because I want you to have some measurements that I know will make this particular card, but I know that there are certainly other measurements that work. For example, when I was making that nativity card, I had an entirely different template. This one is like a 12 inch, and I scored it in more places so that this card base made it was like more rounded looking. So that one was a little bit different, and it was a lot more complicated. I don't know why. I don't know why, but it was. All right, so let me see here. I feel like I'm missing a piece. Hold on just a sec. I thought I had everything together. There we go. All right. So here is my next piece I'm going to get together. This is the one that I better get out my scoreboard after all. I could just fold and fold and fold. But this cardstock doesn't always fold easy, right? So this one this one gets folded in half, and I'm just going to do a pinch there because I don't want to measure. Is that lazy or what? All right, it ends up to be 3 5/8. Okay. And then we need to do a 1/2 inch from each end. So I'm just gonna go here and do a 1/2 inch. And I'm gonna flip it and do a 1/2 inch rather than do that weird measurement. You can see this is like 7 1/4. And so, you know, you can walk it back and figure it out, but, all right, I'm gonna fold this one back to the back. And this one goes to the front, okay? And then this will glue onto my card. So that one's ready. And then this one, we fold in half. And then it'll be like that. And then you want to fold it again towards the center. Like, have you ever done origami? I think they call this like a, is it a waterfall fold or something like that? I can't remember anymore. It's been so long since I did that. That's like my old Girl Scout teaching days. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. Anyway, so there's that piece. Basically, you fold it in half, make like a little M, and then we are going to cut slits in this. Now you could measure this. You could get out your ruler and measure a 1/4 inch in and then draw a line, or you can just eyeball it like I'm going to. And basically we want it to go up and then, like maybe, I don't know, how far is that from the top? Whatever you do, wherever that slit is, you want it the same on both sides, okay? So, it's not quite half there. That one, I made it a 1/4 inch. This one I'll make a 1/4 inch. There we go. So there's our inner piece that'll slide on. Okay, so now we have to decorate before we go any further. And you can see that I have a lot of stuff on here. It's very overwhelming, but I'm basically just gonna put the paper on first. This is I'm using up my old runners that I have. Now I'm gonna put this centered. I made it, you know, like 4 by 5 1/4. This birthday paper is some of the coolest paper of the season. It's like, I just love it. I love all the colors in it. I love how it looks. I feel like no matter what project you make, you can't go wrong. It's beautiful. It's just beautiful. All right, so there is that part of our card. Maybe we should go ahead and do something to the front while we're here. Now, what I did on this card is I basically just, the beauty of this card is that it's not the front of the card that makes it wow. It's the inside that makes it wow. So the outside just has to, you know, look nice. But I just put a strip of scrap across the bottom, and I don't know. Maybe I'll do the same. I have so many scraps from this paper. It's crazy how much I have because I've been using it, you know, like crazy. I love it. You know what? I really like that. And that's not very wide though. I'm going to use it anyway. Is this one wider? You know, I obviously should have planned a little bit better before I started. I just thought, I can do this. And I think this is about 1.5 inches or so. It doesn't really matter. Make it what you want it to be. It's kind of, I feel like when you're making cards and you're using your scraps, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you use. All right, I am gonna use this piece though. I really like it. Now the street cleaner is going through. I have flags all over my yard. Like the city is about to do something major, and only my yard. Like where, you know how they called Julie out or whatever, and they, you know, put flags where your sewers and your gas and all of that is. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we have lots of dies, lots and lots that we can pick from. I could use the same one that I used on the other card, or I could maybe do something different. I kind of like this bouquet. It's a little bit big for, it's a little bit big for the front of the card, but I do really like this. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as the front of the card, and then I'm just going to trim it. Like I'll put this on here and trim it there. That'll be my front. See, I just tweak these die cuts to do whatever I want them to do. And then the other thing that I did on the front is I stamped Celebrate, and I stamped the little sparkles, and it was from that dog set. I think it's in the clearance. Those little, and the birthday set has them too, which is great. But for now, just for sake of time, and see, I really love this happy birthday with it. So this will be the card front, and there's no need to put it on foam because this card is going to be thick already. Now, if I don't care, yeah, sure, pop everything up. Especially if I'm going to hand it to somebody. All right. Ta-da. And then I'm going to hold off. I'm going to hold off on stamping today. But you get the general idea of how that's going to look. All right. So now when you're going to put these on, you need to use a stronger adhesive than these little tape runner things. The Stamp and Seal Plus would work great. The tape, see if I have any, like Terran tape kind of tape. That tape works really great. You could use liquid glue like I use. I use a lot of liquid glue. And so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to see if I can get my liquid glue going. I left the cap off last night. So the cap was off like for a whole day, basically. It's like, okay, it still works. All right, so again, down at the bottom, and I'm matching up the center score and the bottom. The center score and the bottom. And then I'm folding my flaps under, and I'm just going to hold that for a sec. See if I can get that straight there. Okay. Push, push, push. All right. Ta-da! That's what you get. And you can see it pops out. Not for you. I understand. I totally get it. If you don't like it popping out, change the size. Make it zigzag. You know, whatever you want. Like you could make this accordion fold just like this, and then it would all be inside of the card. Just as long as it folds up onto itself, you're good. Okay, now, where did I put my... I want to put some decorative pieces on the front of here, and I think I'm going to use my that same birthday paper because I know I have a lot of it. Let me grab a piece out. Isn't that Isn't that gorgeous? I love the paper pack. If you buy it, it has this gold foil. The scrapbook pack does not have gold foil. I have a feeling that was because they just simply ran out of time. I think they would have made it foiled, but okay. So I need these 3 inches wide by about 3 1/4. And so I'm going to cut those 3 inches. And then I'm going to do the 4 1/4. Sorry, I'm doing so much off camera today. Yikes. That does not look right at all. I think I meant 3 1/4. It's early, Connie. Oh gosh. I have not been sleeping well this week. There's been so many, with all the storms and all the crazy, and Steve and I both prepping for weekend stuff. Our house has just been a little nuts, and I spent all day yesterday doing nothing but cleaning, and oh god, how awful. I'm like, that was not a fun day. Okay, there's that. I love how that looks. And then, let's see, what else do we want to do? Now we basically want to decorate. So what I did was I made happy birthday here. I put some cake on here. I'll just lay this here and we'll decorate together. So the idea behind this is to look at your different die cuts and things that you have and decide, you know, what you want to use. There's a lot of these kind of tags in this set. There are the big balloons, which would be a really cool thing, you know, again, on the front, same way, right? And so I may save that bigger piece. I love these little cake on cake stand kind of things. They're so sweet. Let's see. I'm trying to use up that tape runner so I can get rid of it, but I'm so used to using liquid glue now. It is hard to go back to a tape runner. I'll tell you what, the liquid glue is so easy. I love how that looks. And then I think I am gonna save this for the happy birthday. I really like the idea of, there's a lot of these gold banners, and I did not use one on this card, but I was like, why? I think I want to use one on this one somehow. Not sure how yet. I think I'll put it across the top. So I'm just gonna, now one thing I've done with these gold foil banners that are in this kit is I have cut them apart and just used, you know, just use a part of it. Like, you know, maybe you just use 3 of the flags or something under a photo or something. You know, you don't have to use the entire thing as one. Alter these dies to work for your project, you know? Okay, I love these little cupcakes. They're so sweet. And I think I'm gonna put one on there. Because this is yellow, I'm gonna balance that yellow by putting it over here. And then what else do we have in here? We have the giant cake slice. Now the thing that I think is really cool about this is by showing the cake slice popping out like that, you are giving the person a hint to what's inside. I think I'm going to use celebrate here, and then when it opens, I'll use happy birthday on the inside. I also want a little space to write, and it's hard to write on this piece, especially after you put in your slider. So it's kind of easier to it's kind of easier to put your writing space here. And that might be a good place for one of those tags, you know, like over here to write on, or just use a white piece of cardstock. If you use the cake slice like I am, where it shows the hint of what's inside, the big thing is you want to make sure it fits in a 7-inch envelope, 5 by 7. And so when you are put your ruler down over your card, and make sure that your cake does not stick out farther than the 7-inch mark, or else it won't fit in your envelope. Like if you make it really stick out like that, it's going to get messed up. You're not going to use a 5 by 7 envelope. So whatever you do, make sure it fits. And I'm just going to do just that. I'm just going to put glue on part. I'm going to make it pop out somewhat. And then see, when it opens, you've got the cake. Cool. Love it. All right. And what else do I have? I got to dump these out, you guys. I got a lot. You know, I have a lot. There's a lot of these cake pieces. And so you can, you know, tweak these to whatever. Lots of cupcakes, lots of cakes. Really cool to make a border or something. And so that would be fun. I could do another cupcake over here and then put my happy birthday here. Right? That's cute. It's really, it's just so sweet. You can do anything you want. Anything you want. There's a lot of die cuts in this set, and I've already used so many of them. So I think that's where I'm going to leave that, because I'm going to put the happy birthday there. Actually, I could just go ahead and do it. I'm going to trim it down just a little. And then I'm going to use like a white piece of cardstock there. And I can use whatever. I'm looking at my scraps. And I'll probably just, let me just trim a little piece down. I just want a little piece there so that I can write a message. This is just a scrap on my table. Perfect. And the other thing that you can do on here is you can look at your sticker sheets. So the nice thing about the sticker sheets is they have these really long borders. And of course, it's really nice to use these. It's really nice to use these on a big scrapbook page, but for cards, this is really fun. So I like to use them on cards in small ways, like here. Look at that. Hooray, hooray. So I just save that sticker for the next project or whatever. And I just keep cutting it down. Same way with the little tassels. That's really cute. Okay, I think I'm good there. I could use a sticker or something there too, but anyway. All right. Now, let's go ahead and make the slide-in folder. The way this is going to work is it's going to slide into the card, and the outside is going to just fold over. Now, you don't have to adhere it. It'll stay just like that, and it'll fold right in there with your card. The big thing is, if you are like me, sometimes you want to adhere these strips down just so it's not, I'm going to make a wider gap so it slides around on me. I got something on my scissor there. Okay. So the reason I'm doing this that you see right now is I don't really want to have to connect it if I don't want to. Like I don't want to, this one I glued down right here and right here. Just so it's part of the card. It's more a solid part of the card. I did not glue it down anywhere else, but it doesn't come out. And this way it could be, it could just hang on there and be removable, and it'll just move around with your card. And I just want it to have a little more wiggle room. What I want to do here is I want to decorate the top. Now, when you decorate the top, you don't want too much poking up above your card, although you have 5 inches. If you do a 5 by 7, you know, you have an inch above if you wanted to. But ideally, you really don't want a ton of stuff poking up above the top of your card. But what I did with this one is I took parts and pieces. I think I did a lot of the flowers. So let me, yikes, dump. This is such a mess. But you can see, like, I just put a few flowers down on each area. Like this. And like I said, about a 1/2 inch maybe poking up. It'll show when it slides down. You'll be able to see the whole flower, but all right, I got some yellow flowers. I thought I had some blue flowers in here too. Hold on. I've got lots of leaves and little bitty bit. Look at this mess on my desk, you guys. This is crazy. Can you see that? Oh my gosh. It's crazy. All right. I think I'm going to go ahead and put some of these gold pieces on, and like that. And then I'll put, I think I'm going to grab my foam, just real thick. Hey, if you don't want it thick, don't do this. I mean, it's going to be thick already. Okay. And I'm just going to add a little extra flower there. So I'm looking at the comments. Hi, Denise. Haven't seen you for a little while. Heather, hello, hello. You know, tomorrow is my Stampin' Up! Presentation thing. The day where I go and get to meet people. That's exciting. I honestly haven't met hardly any of the local Stampin' Up! People, so that's exciting to me. And so that's kind of a cool thing. I'm going to put that one up at the top. I like that. I'm going to put a leaf somewhere. I'll put one of these down. Maybe a blue flower. The idea is you just want some variety here, and it doesn't have to be gobs and gobs. You just want it to be seen like that. Okay, I don't know. I think that'll work. Let me see how that looks, because all I'm looking at is this pile of stuff. And then we're just gonna put this in here, drop it in, And look at how fun that card is, you guys. Isn't that great? I also have these little bitty pieces that I really like. These little tiny ones. I got to admit, when I first started, when I first made the pages using these die cuts and stuff, this was the little tiny one, was the one I had the most trouble using. But it's perfect for just a little decoration on the card. Oh my gosh, that is so sweet. Look at that. And then you just need gems. Okay, so here's where I'm showing you a sneak peek here. This is a new color, Strawberry Slush and Pretty in Pink gems. And all the gems are, all right, pull them out. They're stuck in my package. Okay, these gems are all dark, medium, and clear, right? And so with the different colors of gems, and they're sparkly, they're kind of clear but sparkly, I can totally add to this card and make it look really cool. And I think I'm going to use the darker ones. So pretty. I could use, different colors in different places, because it all goes. And then remember, I'm going to have the word celebrate. I'll probably put it right there, so I can put a gem there. And then on the inside, look at that. See how that kind of popped up when I opened it? And then it'll fold back on itself when you close the card. So if you don't want it moving around like I have it moving around, you can totally adhere these little arms that hang down right here by my thumbs. Hi, Stephanie. Look at that. I just think this is super cool. I'm in love. So I think this is fun. And I'm making it wider. I'm making it thicker by adding gems to the inside. But at this point, I already know it's going to be thick. And so, and I like this part that sticks out. I think it's really cute. Look. Oh, isn't it great? All right. Now, the other thing that you can do on this piece here is you can poke a few things out on the back. I have a lot of those little flags left from, I have a ton of these little flags left from that scrapbook page that I made. And so you can see that you could add it to the back poking out. You could do the leaves. Anything. You could use some of those gold pieces. So you can put this on the front and the back. And the main thing is these little flags may pop up above your card if you make them too tall. Like when you close your card, it may show. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Drop that in. See? As long as it'll fit in a 5x7, you're good to go. And you can see it will. So, and like I said, the front of the card is pretty, but the stunner of this card is that you display it, and you display it on a table or something, and just put it out. Isn't it great? Love it, love it, love it. Okay, what else would I do? I, of course, would add some shimmer to probably these cupcakes to make them stand out a little more. I'd write my little message, and I need to put on my celebrate that I didn't stamp for some reason. I don't know why I did that, but I didn't. So that's my project today. I hope you guys like it. I'm so excited. Okay, so Wednesday, I've read the rules, and I think I'm going to be able to show you the new scrapbook workshop that's coming up in May. I have the product in hand, and since it will be shown on during a Stampin' Up! Event, then it's a free-for-all, I believe. So I can show you Wednesday the scrapbook layouts that I made and the paper pack and everything. So, and I'll let you know how my presentation goes, because oh my gosh, I'm not exactly totally nervous, but you know, it's hard to meet all those new people and then do a presentation in front of them, but I'm excited to meet everybody from the area. So, all right, have a great weekend. I am going to clean up my yard today, although I'm not sure what the city's going to do to my yard, because usually when they put all those flags in there, that means they're digging. Yikes. No word yet. All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.